Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. What's up, Chunky? First fucking comment I see. What's up, Chunky? You know, I was going to come on here and say, hey, guys, hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. Let's put our nose down. Let's keep grinding. Let's close this week out strong. No, fuck you guys, actually. Hope you guys are having a terrible day. I hope the rest of this week is horrible for you all. I hope you guys are having a shit day. Okay? When was the last time it rained? Anybody know that? Joke's on you, it has been a shit day. Good. My hating has paid off. Then I was waiting for you to post for someone during the 3v3s, but I know your Achilles has been acting up. It was actually my heel, not my Achilles. Heel. Which is better for sure. Had to sound check a major college football stadium. Well, that sounds fun. If the worst Mavs players in Rondo, who is? Quick game of Hoop GM. I actually got a good amount to talk about today, so I'm not sure. Kirk talked you up a bit on Pod Maverick about your play. What do you say? What do you say? You know, the fadeaway is my shot. It just didn't go down. Just didn't go down, man. Hey, that's basketball. That's basketball. Let's knock this out. Can we answer 10 straight? I don't think we did last time, but it was some bullshit question. Who's the Braves' all-time leaders in home runs? This has to be Hank Aaron, right? All right. Now, weren't they the Milwaukee Braves, though, right? Who is the Seahawks all-time leader in touchdown passes? I'm going to assume it's Russell Wilson. All right, thank God. Which of these two teams have the same number of NBA titles? Oh, shit. Hold on. Is it Bulls Pistons, right? Oh, my God. That one caught me off guard, actually. Cavs and Nuggets each have one. And that just now, yeah. Well, off to a hot start. What up, Ronald? All right, what should we start with today? I actually have a good amount of stuff to go over. That was a fuck up on my part. So this thing's been going around for a few days, like these little grids, and each fan base is sort of doing their, yeah, erase that footage, seriously. Each fan base is doing their own little twist on it. All Things Mavs is doing it right now for the Mavs. I figured we could get after it. I could maybe put my 2 cents in on some of these guys because I already disagree with this list, so I want to get in and I want to do my own for the Mavericks. Should we just start here? Shall we start here? Now, if you haven't been on the interwebs over the past few days, Twitter or whatever, this list has been going around and you just put whatever player fits into these categories for each team. No, it's all-time Mavs, but really it's like last 20 or so years. I mean, 2000s onwards was a I'll post a slightly biased game breakdown later today. Oh God. But this is interesting to me because there's a few answers. It's interesting to see where everybody's at just in their timelines. A lot of recency bias and something like this. Now, I have some answers in my brain. Of course, there's great players in the 80s, great players in the 90s. Not so much for the Mavericks because they weren't very good, but there were some good players. I'm mainly going to go from like the 2000s onward, pretty much the Dirk era onwards, just because, you know, that's where my brain is. That's where my brain's at with this. Now, there's probably a better way we could do this. Could we throw this into Photoshop and do our own? That way we can keep up with it. Yes, obviously you have guys like Mark Aguirre, Rolando Blackman, obviously, but I'm just going from the Dirk era onwards because I'm just going to be real. I didn't watch those guys, okay? I didn't watch those players. And that's that. There's no point in lying. There's no point in lying or hiding or trying to be something that I'm not. And I know I'm seems like I'm stretching this out, but my dumbass opened up Premiere Pro instead of Photoshop. So let's just start immediately with most underrated. On the All Things Mavs one, Josh Howard. Pretty good pick. You know, Josh Howard was a good player, made the All-Star team with the Mavs. I don't know if he ever reached 20 points per game with the Mavs, but he was at like 19.9 points per game one year or something like that. So we can just round up. Literally 19.9 one season with the Mavericks. This is a pretty good selection. Did get some Defensive Player of the Year votes, some Most Improved Player of the Year votes. Obviously, Marquise Daniels is an interesting pick as well. That's somebody that doesn't really pop into the brain. Josh Howard, you know, dealt with injuries and stuff, and that was sort of had a shorter career. Marquise Daniels, 3 years with the Mavericks, but, you know, has a special place in my heart. I absolutely adored him and loved him. I think there's some like Michael Finley, for example, for me, is interesting. I think everybody knows Michael Finley. Everybody, you know, loves Michael Finley, obviously. He's in the front office now. Everybody knows Michael Finley was good. I don't think people realize how good Michael Finley was. Like, Michael Finley got MVP votes 3 separate times with the Mavericks. Not like Defensive Player of the Years or also like MVP votes. Finley was really like that, man. Led the league in minutes 3 times. Unfortunately, was not with the Mavericks the year that they made the NBA Finals. He went to the San Antonio Spurs. That was a bit of a tough blow. But he's definitely up there. But you want to know? Do you want to know who I think I'm going to go with here for most underrated? And this is just how my brain feels on the matter. No, not the custodian. Brandon Wright. Brandon motherfucking Wright. Now, before you say, what the hell? See, like, Matrix, really? Brandon Wright, not a super long career. Was a part of the Rajon Rondo trade, but was really damn good. Advanced stats, absolutely loved him. He was, by some advanced metrics, the best player on the Mavericks pretty much every single year. Great rim runner. And would have been so good next to Luka. Like, that's just what my brain feels like. He would have been so good playing alongside Luka Doncic. I love me some Brandon Wright. Was very sad to see him go. And his career just sort of fizzled out. I guess not really. He played, yeah, I do remember his time with Memphis. Was a guy who was always injured. I mean, look at the games played. Constantly injured. But I liked him, man. He was fun to watch. Top 50 dunks for the Dallas Mavericks. Whatever you do, do it right. Harbor Freight. Dwight before Dwight. Yeah. Oh, wow. This is an emotional video. Okay. I don't think we can have that. Wow, why is this so emotional? Hey! Hey! Was he on the shut it down, let's go home dunk? Was that a Brandon Wright dunk? The infamous Dirk Nowitzki. Shut it down! Let's go home! Wait, was that Chandler Parsons throwing a lob to... Wait, when did Brandon Wright get traded? It was during the Rondo. Chandler Parsons' time with the Mavericks just doesn't make sense in my brain. It's just like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense that was 2014. That feels so much more recent than that. So much more recent. All right, so Brandon Wright to me is the most underrated. Here, can we just remove the background on this? Just make it look a little bit better on Photoshop. Thank you. Thank you. Most overrated. All right, now here's where we get some juicy stuff, okay? Here's where we get some juicy stuff. So the All Things Mavs one, the community said Kristaps Porzingis. Now, in my brain, this can't be KP. Okay? This cannot be Kristaps. Overrated by who? Mavs fans absolutely hated him. In fact, so much so that I would actually say that when he was on the floor, it was a little bit underrated, just amongst Mavs fan circles. The problem, of course, was that he was never on the court, and a lot of the times when he was on the court, he was working his way back from an injury or dealing with some lingering injury. It was not media and other fans saw him as the help Luka needed. Yeah, I guess, but I don't think anybody overrates KP. Now, I have some recency bias. Underrated and overrated is hard to look back on players. How can Tim Hardaway Jr. be overrated? Like, overrated can't be somebody who's constantly shit on. Dorian? It's not Dorian. It's not Deshaun Stevenson. So, it's not Christian Wood. He was not very well received here. So, the answer I kept coming back to, not that he was overrated. In fact, during a lot of this time with the Mavericks, he was probably a little bit underrated. Definitely not OJ Mayo. I could see an argument for Monte, but I'm not going to go that route. I feel like since the departure of this guy, the way that we look back at his time is not correct. And I think that it's Brunson, I think. Because, again, while he was on the team, he was underrated, but since his departure and since his, comeuppance on the New York Knicks, I feel like people just kind of assume that's who Jalen Brunson was the entire time as a Maverick, and that's just not the case, man. That's just not the case. But I think most people understand. Wait, what the hell? Why is that so big? I think most people understand the KP stuff. And I think most people understand that he was just never healthy when he was on the team. Whereas Brunson, people just kind of assume Brunson was like this the entire time with the Mavericks and that he was always going to turn into this. Not true at all. Okay? Of course, Brunson had the incredible series against the Utah Jazz. Of course, Brunson had that second half of the season, really, his final year at the Mavericks, the 2022 season, where it was kind of obvious he was blossoming into something great. But he was never going to be the off guard that Luka needed. Just full stop. He was never going to be that. Okay? That's why even last year, even before the finals run, I was saying Kyrie makes more sense next to Luka than Brunson ever did. Because Brunson just wasn't the off guard that Kyrie was. That Kyrie is currently. Right? He couldn't really play off ball. He had to be an on ball guy. He goes to New York. He's one of the highest usage players in the league. That's what he needed to do to spread his wings and fly. And I feel like everyone looks back at it. I mean, it's still a thing. They were talking about it. Tim McMahon was talking about it on some podcast a week ago. It's like it worked out, man. It did. The Mavericks are in a better situation now with Kyrie Irving. It makes more sense basketball-wise. It just does. It just does. Brunson has good spot-up shooting numbers now, but that was never the case with the Mavericks. Never the case. And he was great in that Jazz series, but his playoff performance really sort of went downhill after that. The last two series, he was okay against the Suns. He was not good against the Warriors. Of course, the Mavericks don't make the conference finals run without Brunson, so I'm not trying to poo-poo that really. And Brunson was awesome. Brunson was awesome with the Mavericks. I absolutely loved him. But I just feel like his time with the Mavs has been a little bit overrated, to be honest with you. And let's not forget, the year prior to the conference finals run, the Mavericks probably win that series against the Clippers, that 7-game series against the Clippers, if Brunson's anything other than horrendous. He did. He got benched for Trey Burke. That happened. So I'm going overrated with Brunson. Best is quite easily Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, do we even need to get into that? Josh Green, you guys are talking about players who, got shitted on all the time. Josh Green can't be overrated. He just can't be. No, I'm sorry. Dirk is the best. That really close right now. Okay. Dirk has a ring. Dirk has an MVP. It's Dirk Nowitzki. Shut it down. Let's go home. Okay, boom. Who's most underrated? That's Brandon Wright. I love him. All right. So at the worst, they went with Rajon Rondo. That's a fair pick. That's a fair pick. Now, I will say the Rondo stuff went downhill quickly, and I think it was Rondo and Rick butting heads in the way in which they did. I think Lamar Odom has a very solid case because he was actually horrendous. Rondo was pretty bad, but he still had moments. Odom was absolutely terrible with the Mavericks, genuinely a horrible basketball player while he was with the Dallas Mavericks. I also want to say Derek Fisher was genuinely an awful basketball player in his short time with the Dallas Mavericks. Now, granted, it was only 9 games, but he was absolutely awful. Overrated's always going to be hard. Who's actually overrated? KP cannot be the overrated choice. People shit it all over him. No, Chandler Parsons. Chandler Parsons, what? Overrated or worst? For me, it's between Fisher and Odom. My God, Odom was so bad. I kind of think it's Lamar Odom, actually. It's not Grant Williams, man. You guys don't remember how fucking bad Lamar Odom was. It was bad. He was much better than Grant Williams. Bad. Derek Fisher, too, was bad. But Odom was really bad. Funniest. So Boban wins this, and Boban's a great dude, funny dude. Is Boban really the funniest, though? Is Boban really the funniest? Now, my vote is for Deshaun Stevenson, who was just a riot. was just an absolute riot. Wore a shirt that said, "Hey, LeBron, how's my Dirk taste?" I believe owns an ATM category, or an ATM in his house, I believe. An ATM machine in his own house. Has a Abraham Lincoln tattoo on his throat. There is an argument for Luka, 100%. There definitely is an argument for Luka. But I think I'm rocking with Deshaun Stevenson. I feel like he's perfect. And it gives us an opportunity to give Deshaun Stevenson some love. It gives us an opportunity to throw some love to Deshaun Stevenson. The defense he played in that series against LeBron. The three-point shooting. The shit-talking. The, "Hey, LeBron, how's my Dirk taste?" shirt. Again, the Abraham Lincoln tattoo on the throat. Incredible. Most annoying. So Grant Williams wins this. This is recency bias, man. I guess he was a little bit annoying, but come on, really? The most annoying? Tim Hardaway Jr., no. I have an easy one for this. And I'm viewing the most annoying as the player I like the least. And if you've watched me for a while, you know who this is right now. Off the rip. This was the only player while he was actively on the Dallas Mavericks that I genuinely did not like at all. Like, I genuinely did not like him and had a legitimate hard time even rooting for him, to the point where if he did something bad, I was like, oh, God. I've seen some be Tim Hardaway Sr. had a very short stint with the Mavericks. Obviously, this is because of stuff that he said after the fact. Luka having an argument for most annoying? It's not Christian Wood, believe it or not. I have said that this is the only player that I've actively not liked while he was on the Mavericks. Wow, I'm surprised none of you know. Now, you're going to notice that I have a early 2010s bias towards this, early to mid 2010s bias, although this might have been late 2010s, late-ish 2010s. Zaza Pachulia, man. I can't stand him. Just think he's one of the dirtiest players we've had in recent years. And I really struggled to root for anything he did while he was on the team. He tried to rip Kawhi Leonard's arm off while a member of the Dallas Maverick. I couldn't stand him when he went to the Warriors afterwards and he did the stupid-ass fucking horse riding celebration that just made me want to... I was seeing red. I'm sorry. I could not stand Zaza. Couldn't stand him. He does have a classic clip, though, from the early in his career with the Hawks. We go into a Game 7, baby! Game 7! Dirty player. That's it. Very dirty player. Most potential. So we've reached the end here. Everybody in the replies to most potential is saying Derek Lively. D-Live, D-Live, D-Live. Are we fucking joking? I don't think people understand the purpose of this exercise. You guys know that I love Derek Lively, but, hello? Are we serious? I don't think people understand the point of this exercise. It's most potential. We're talking about franchise, and of course, we're not really doing franchise history because we're doing the last 20 years, 25 years. But Derek Lively, and I love him, and he does have a ton of potential, does not have anywhere near the amount of potential of Luka. Okay. Most wasted potential. So here's the thing with the Mavs is really for the last 20, really since they drafted Dirk, a couple years for Dirk to get acclimated to the NBA. But after that, After that, the Mavericks like never were in any real position to draft highly in the draft. Of course, Roddy Beaubois is going to come to mind here. Although, I'll fight back against this a tiny bit. I'll fight back against Roddy Beaubois here. Because he was a 25th overall pick. And yes, he had quite a bit of potential and upside, and there was a lot of hype. But, I mean, again, he was a 25th overall pick. Is this all time? It would be Tarpley if the 80s are included. Roy Tarpley. Roy Tarpley, 7th overall pick. Played a handful of seasons, won 6th Man of the Year his second year in the league at 23 years old, and was suspended for 5 years because of substance abuse. This one should be KP. KP's an interesting one. Is that a waste of potential, though? Are you going based off accolade-wise? No, I'm most potential. So what I'm meaning by this is who came into the Mavericks organization with the most potential? A young Luka Doncic had more potential than any other player the Mavericks have ever had on their team. Period. And it's not close. I mean, Tarpley was supposed to be awesome and then got banned. Tarpley's actually a pretty good shout. Do we put Roy Tarpley on here just so we can go back in time and have like a player from the 80s? Because it is like Roddy Beaubois. Okay. Rodman was washed. KP's not a bad answer. Dennis Smith Jr. was always a risk. Like that was a risk when he was drafted. Jay Crowder was a good role player here. That's all he was really going to be. That's a nice flex. We'll go Roy Tarpley. Rest in peace. Justin Anderson. Like Justin Anderson was what was he, like the 15th, 16th overall pick? That's not a bust. This is a good pool. It's a good pool because he looked good, 6th Man of the Year, second year in the league, top 7 pick, and just out of the league. Best passer, all right. This is easily Luka Doncic. I know, Steve Nash. Don't care. This is Luka Doncic. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I mean, look at the point guards the Mavs have had in the last like 25 years. Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and Luka Doncic. Now, Kidd and Nash probably definitely didn't reach their highest points of their career with the Mavericks. But that's like a crazy group of point guards. And it's funny, too, because Kidd on the Suns after the Mavericks, Steve Nash to the Suns after the Mavericks. Who knows what's in Luka's future? In my brain, I'm thinking best passer is different than playmaker. Like Steve Nash was a great playmaker and a great passer too, but Kidd's passing bag just feels deeper in my brain. But maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. Luka has one of the deepest passing bags in the history of the sport. Okay, full stop. Best perimeter defender. I thought Deshaun Stevenson has an interesting claim to this. Now, I'm personally leading Sean Marion. I'm leaning Sean Marion, who did get Defensive Player of the Year votes while with the Dallas Mavericks. But Deshaun Stevenson was a demon. He 100% was. JJ Barea against LeBron. See, like Dorian Finney-Smith, Derrick Jones Jr., all great, but these are all obviously very, very much recency biased. I don't think they hold a candle really to Sean Marion, who absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame. And I know I say that, and then people be like, "Well, you said Drew Holiday shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame." Like people say this. When the Drew Holiday argument was happening, people were saying, "Well, Sean Marion should be in it." Sean Marion was better at his peak than Drew Holiday was. Full stop. Okay. And not that close either, really. So I don't think they're comparable. Best rim defender. I think this pretty much has to, I know, I tried to get a more recent picture. This is the only one they had. This pretty much has to be Tyson Chandler, I think, by default. Of course, he was the center when the team won the championship. Like, it almost has to be him. Now, the thing is he was only here for 2 years. So, I guess you could maybe make an argument that it should be somebody else. How about, Sean Bradley? Sean Bradley had seasons of 3 blocks a game, 2.8 blocks per game. I think there's an argument that it could have been Sean Bradley. But we'll give it to Tyson Chandler. The ring talks. I wish these headshots were like, it sucks. It's the most recent headshot of them, so it's Tyson Chandler with the Rockets. Most athletic. So the Mavs, at least in recent history, haven't been like an uber athletic team. I think Dennis Smith Jr. pound for pound is the answer. That's like that was his draft claim to fame was his absurd athleticism. Derrick Jones Jr., yeah, I think it's Dennis Smith Jr. though. Yeah, the athleticism from a guard. You guys really think Derrick Jones Jr. for sure? No, not Josh Green. Josh Green's a good athlete, but I don't think he's at the level of Derrick Jones Jr. or Dennis Smith Jr. Well, Derrick Jones Jr., Luka, Gerald Green. That's a nice pool. How many games did Gerald Green play for the Mavericks? Gerald Green was an NBA 2K legend. 38 games for the Mavericks. Honest to God, in 2008, 2009, I have zero recollection of this at all. I have no recollection whatsoever of Gerald Green's time. Gerald Green, honest to God, is an interesting one. Because Gerald Green, I think, is one of the best athletes in the history of the sport. Like, if we just looked up highest vertical in NBA history, I think I think Gerald Green's probably high up there. Let's see. Michael Jordan has the highest vertical ever. Do we believe on that? Do we believe that? Vince Carter was a fossil with the Mavs, man. It can't be him. Gerald Green was 23 years old when he was with the Mavericks. Richard Jefferson was also too old. Gerald Green might jump higher than anyone else ever. My God. It's not AJ Lawson, no. Yeah, I think it has to be a fan favorite. Because if we're going Gerald Green, if we're digging deep and pulling Gerald Green out, who played 38 total games with the Mavs, I'm sure that you could make arguments for like two-way G League guys who are just there for athletes, who are there because they're athletes. I'm a little bit surprised you guys think Derrick Jones Jr. is a better athlete than Dennis Smith Jr. I don't think I agree. If we're going pound for pound, Dennis Smith Jr.'s explosiveness at his size is insane. And he honestly should have won the dunk contest. That was a robbery. I know Derrick Jones Jr. won a dunk contest. I agree. It's got to be Dennis Smith Jr. He's 6'1", man. It's also a good excuse for us to get Dennis Smith Jr. on this list. How do we feel still about the Brunson overrated shout? Overrated is so hard. It really is. If we're actually going with overrated. Best handles? I mean, this is quite easily Kyrie Irving. Next question. Kyrie Irving. This one's easy. I mean, Kyrie made it easy for us. Kyrie made it nice and easy. Best shooter. So I'm telling you right now where my brain's going, and that's Luka. But it's funny. I was thinking Luka, and then I was like, wait a second. It's fucking Dirk. Like, what the hell? What are we even talking about? Like, oh, hello? It's Dirk. Best in post is Dirk. Best role player. Peja just wasn't with the Mavs very long. I mean, he was awesome during that run. But how many games total did Peja even play with the Mavs? 25 total games in the regular season before that playoff run started. And he shot 37% from three in that postseason. Felt better. Jason Terry. Well, what constitutes as a role player? No, Luka has an argument for best shooter, but let's not forget if we're doing the whole Luka creates all the shots, I'm counting the Dirk fadeaways, I'm counting the Dirk middies, like those all count as shooting to me as well. Role player equals not perennial all-star. Jet's a great one. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm like kind of thinking Sean Marion again. Josh Howard actually, if you're going the all-star route, Josh Howard did make an all-star game with the Mavs. But it does feel kind of dirty if you do a whole list like this and Jet's not on it. Especially if you're doing the... Especially if you're doing the... Like, mainly we're going 2010s onward. Or 2020s onward. Or 2000s onward. What the fuck am I saying? Jet had... here's Jason Terry's 6 Man of the Year finishes. I could have sworn Jason Terry made an all-star team with the Hawks. I don't know why I thought that. Six Man of the Year, third place finish in 2007, 2008, 08, 09. Won Six Man of the Year, averaging 19.6 points per game, shooting 36% from three on 6.2 attempts. At the time, that's kind of crazy. Six Man of the Year, second place. The following season, second place, third place. And during that finals run for the Mavericks, 32 minutes per game, shot 44% from three. During that finals run, 17.5 points per game. Incredible. It's got to be Jet. It has to be Jet. Can I find a headshot of Jason Terry on the fucking Mavericks? Thank you. Got a tattoo of the Larry O'Brien trophy before the 2010-2011 season started. I mean, just an all-time great. All right, so let's go over this. Most underrated, Brandon Wright. This is just a personal shout for me. There could be a million different answers. The choice here from the Mavs community on Twitter was Josh Howard, which is a pretty decent selection. Although, again, I would say most Mavs fans know how good Josh Howard was. Now, I'm interested to see what all the comments were saying. Overrated. Who are we saying? Rondo, Parsons? How are these guys over? Who's overrating Rajon Rondo? Rondo most overrated. Do these people not know what overrated means? Zach Randolph. Chandler Parsons. Jaden Hardy, who's overrating Jaden Hardy? Some people for sure, but if you're going most overpaid, most underrated is Marquise Daniels. Hey! Yeah! I kind of want to put, you want to know something? All right. Marquise Daniels, who the fuck's overrating Marquise Daniels? Some people think Hardy will replace Kyrie. No serious person's thinking that, though. That's what you have to factor in. No serious person believes that. It's Brunson. It has become Brunson over time. It has become Brunson over time. Hardy could replace Kai. Okay, guys. Maybe Hardy is most overrated, honestly. Maybe it is Hardy. What are you guys talking about? Hardy could replace Kyrie Irving. There's no way anybody in this community believes that. And I love the kid. But there's no way anybody actually believes that. Not in this community. Hardy party. I don't think Dorian's overrated. I could see the argument. Brunson, with his time with the Mavericks, is not who he was on the Knicks. Now, that's player development and growth, but, like, anytime Brunson does anything, it's like, the Mavericks is like, that's not who he was here, and Kyrie's a better fit. That's the truth. That is the truth. Kleba's not overrated. Omax is not. I'm not putting a 20th overall pick in year 2 as most overrated. Retrospective overrating? Yes, that's what's happened. That is what has happened. His time with the Mavericks has become greatly overrated. I've seen Street say Jerry Stackhouse was overrated. So I was looking up Jerry Stackhouse stats recently because it is like I bet most people probably wouldn't know that Jerry Stackhouse did lead the league in scoring one year with the Detroit Pistons, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Made me kind of look a little bit deeper into his stats and stuff, and he spent a good amount of time with the Mavs. And yeah, it was never really like that great. It was always sort of fun, but then you look at his career numbers, and he was just not efficient ever. Dirk best, not really close right now, although it could be. If the Mavs won the finals this past year, we could have had this conversation. Lamar Odom is the worst for me personally. Just thought he was terrible, like just a horrible basketball player. Rondo butted heads with Carlisle, and it didn't really work out, but he was better than Odom was. He was absolutely better. Adrian Dantley overrated? We're digging deep now. Dantley barely played with the Mavs. I've seen other teams do the Rondo pick is an emotional pick. Funniest for me, Deshaun Stevenson. Most annoying, Zaza. Couldn't stand him. Most potential is easily Luka. You should add Small Fisher for the worst. All right, yeah, we could do that. We could add a small Derek Fisher. So do you think Antoine Walker is overrated? No. I actually think Antoine Walker wasn't that bad with the Mavericks, though. I mean, he wasn't very good. But overrated, though? Eh. I like... people talk about the Brunson stuff still to this day like it is a criminal offense that the Mavericks didn't sign him. They're better off with Kyrie. They just are. They literally are. I'm putting a small KP next to Tarpley too. Put an even smaller than George. I kind of like the KP shout for wasted potential, to be honest with you. KP is not overrated. I disagree with KP being overrated. I don't think that within Mavs fandom is overrating KP. Like, I've been saying the national media is the reason why I'm putting Brunson most overrated, but there are still Mavs fans to this day that cry and cry and cry and cry over the Brunson thing. And it's like, man, shut the fuck up. Seriously. Stop being babies. Brunson has become overrated. People are misremembering what the Brunson time was. People are just misremembering it. Best passer, Luka. Now you can. Steve Nash obviously has a case for this. Did Steve Nash ever lead the league in assists with the Mavericks? I just think that Luka's, honest to God, honestly, passing. It says passing and not playmaking. I think Luka is the best passer I've ever seen. I think Luka's the best passer I've ever laid my eyes on. Best perimeter defender, Sean Marion. Best rim protector, Tyson Chandler. Hey, man, championship speak, right? I don't think it's a coincidence. These two were on the team, and the Mavs won the finals on the back of incredible defense. Most athletic, pound for pound, Dennis Smith Jr. But you know what? We're going small players now. I'm going to throw a small Gerald Green on there. I'm going to throw a small Gerald Green. I'll make it very small. What's up, Sally? I'm back in the city. Did you feel the aura shift? I actually did. I was wondering what that feeling was. Best handles, Kyrie. Don't really think this was that close. Who would be second? Like, would second just be Luka? Yeah, definitely. I don't even think it's low key. Best shooter, Dirk. Luka, a good shout for being second. Who else do you know who's doing that? Who else do you know who's doing that? Which category would you put Barea in on here? If they had like a biggest fan favorite, it would probably be him. Funniest. Best in post has to be Dirk. Best role player, Jason Terry. Luka's an insane post scorer too. Like, Luka's great in the post. But I mean, Dirk is fucking Dirk Nowitzki in the post. Like, what? Oops. What if category? I mean, that's pretty much the most wasted potential category. Where would you put some of the 80s players on here? I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't try to pretend to be like a super big basketball historian. Tarpley's a good pick for this. Where could Luka get? Where could Luka get on these by the end of his career? Obviously the best. I think he could get the best shooter, but I think that's it, really. I don't think. I mean, Dirk was like 7 feet. I don't think just by nature of Dirk being that big, he's going to be a better post player. And now the question is, where does best rim protector? uh, Funniest. Luka definitely has an argument for funniest. Should I put a little small Luka in funniest? Melberk was suggesting doing this with the whole current NBA. Oh, okay, yeah, let's do that. I love how I come into streams with a plan. I titled the stream ESPN's NBA award predictions. I don't even know if we're gonna get to that. Let's see, current Mavs who can make this list. D-Live could definitely become the best rim defender. I don't think they have the best perimeter defender. There's a slew of guys. If this Mavericks team goes back to the finals and wins, or maybe they rattle off a few championships, just saying, there's definitely some guys on this current team who could become the best role player in Mavs history. Lively. But Lively is somebody who I think can make all-star games. PJ could definitely. See, was Boban really that? Boban's just like a super nice, lovable dude. Was he really that funny? Like, part of what made Boban so funny was that he was 7 feet tall. The 7'6" freak. And Boban would just walk around, people like, oh, look how tall he is. It's hilarious. Like, Deshaun Stevenson's just a funny fucking dude. Boban is honestly the most overrated. Now that's actually something I could get behind a tiny bit. This was, I probably had 2,000 subscribers at the time, but when Boban left, I was actually saying how happy I was that Boban was gone in some ways, because people would shut the fuck up basically about Boban to me. Boban played real minutes in the playoffs against the Clippers. No. Not just real minutes. Boban played 30 fucking minutes in Game 7 of that series. I like this list. Here. Let's put a little small Luke over here in funnies, because I do think he would be next. Put a little small Luka over here. And funniest. Luka is a funny ass dude. Never forget Boban's 31-17 against Denver on COVID shutdown day. I can never forget. I was there in person. All right, let's tweet this out for the world to see. Wait, how do you do screenshots again? Oh, shit. How do you just do a little screenshot drag thing on Twitter? Or on... Oh, fuck. On Windows. What's the... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I need the recovery beer. Control window S. Set up speech recognition. Control Shift 4. Alt F4. Fuck off. Control Windows Shift. Wait. Control Window S is right. Got it. It was Window Shift S. If people want to hear my explanation for Brunson, I'll gladly give it. I bet Lively takes Terry's spots eventually. Well, we decided to go with no All-Stars, and honest to God, Derek Lively could very easily make All-Star games. So. PG Washington. No, Jason Terry was not an all-star. In my brain, Jason Terry made the all-star team with the Hawks. I don't know why. Very Dirk era onward inspired. Would be happy to explain the Brunson selection. Think his time with the Mavs and his fit has become very overrated since his departure. Incredible player. Deserved his own team. That's what people don't. Brunson is like. I'm just saying his time with the Mavericks has become overrated. Okay, that's all. All right, let's do one. Let's do. Yeah, let's do. So we did one with the Mavericks. Let's do the entire NBA. This one should be a little bit easier, I think. Most underrated player in the NBA. I'm excited to see. I have a stance that I've said this before. I think in the modern era of like NBA Twitter and stuff, I don't think there's any underrated or overrated players, to be completely honest with you. And maybe it's just me because I'm listen to podcasts, and any player who would be underrated I know about and I hear people talk about quite a bit. So it's like hard to figure out who is underrated or overrated in today's NBA. I feel like everyone's properly rated. Everybody has a group of people who love them. Everyone has a group of people that hate them. You'll say Kate. Oh, Cade Cunningham. That's actually a good one. That's actually an underrated player. I'm going to be real. Cade's a good pick. Yes, this is current NBA. Once a player gets overrated enough, the Twitter sphere pushes back and overcorrects. I mean, that's true for both overrated and underrated. He's not underrated. He's just in Detroit. Is Drew underrated? No chance anymore. Like, no chance in hell. We were having Drew Holiday Hall of Fame discussions on Twitter. Like, no way. Embiid is overhated. I think that's probably right. You see where I'm getting at? It can't be Derek White either. Like, it cannot be Derek White. It's not Derek White. Aaron Gordon's interesting. I don't think it can be Jonathan Isaac. I think everybody loves Jonathan Isaac. De'Aaron Fox, no. Well, you guys know who I'm putting for overrated. Oh, man, let's just get the overrated one out of the way. Domantas Sabonis, okay. Images, headshot, there we go. Copy, boom. Paste, all right. Okay. Oh, this is going to be tough. Who's the worst player in the NBA? Come on. Who's the worst player in the NBA? That just sounds mean. Omax? Sort by negative EPM. All right, let's see who it's going to be some random role player. Bronny. Dwight Powell. Come on, guys. Get serious. Get serious, guys. Seriously. Seriously, get serious, guys. Maxwell Lewis. The Lakers rookie last year. Holy shit. He was the worst by a comfortable margin. Jalen Hood-Schifino was the second worst. Good job by the Lakers in the draft. AJ Griffin was bad. Jalen McDaniels is terrible. Who's the worst, like, actual... Oh, Johnny Davis. Who's the actual, like, kind of big minute player in the NBA? Troy Brown Jr. got 15 minutes a game last year and played in 60 games. Would never have guessed that in a million years. Nick Smith. Who's, like, the worst not young player that actually has some expectations surrounding them? You know, like Grady Dick, okay, but he's a rookie. Malachi Branham stinks, but he's also 20 years old. Shake Milton, okay. PJ Tucker was ass last year. Tim Hardaway Jr. is not the worst player in the NBA, guys. Come on. I'm not doing worst. It's too mean. It's too mean to me. I actually kind of think Jalen McDaniels is one of the worst players in the league. Let's go years in the league greater than 2. It's not, guys, it can't be Tim Hardaway Jr. Most underrated. See, who's underrated? I'm just, Cade Cunningham actually makes sense to me, to be honest with you. Trae Young. I'm going Cade. I'm actually going Cade. And I don't know if I would have done it if whoever that was in the chat didn't say it. Whoever in the chat said, you're going to say Cade Cunningham and you're going to be wrong. It's not Drew Holiday, man. It can't be. It simply can't be Drew Holiday. We just did the Hall of Fame talk. You can't say, this guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Cade has so many Glazers calling him Luka Light. Cade does not have that many Glazers. You're probably just talking about Pistons fans. I'm a big believer in Cade Cunningham, folks. Best, I mean, let's just not pull any punches here. Luka, I don't give a fuck. This is what we're doing. Don't care. This is what we're doing, okay? Worst. I like whoever said we can do worst value, right? Because that's a little bit nicer to me. What the hell? Okay, please fuck off. I'm done with you. What's going on? Why? Oh. Why'd you pop up all the way over there? Worst value contract in the league. Who would that be? Is it? I mean, it's Ben Simmons, but he's on expiring now. Bradley Beal. No, Fred VanVleet was good. Bradley Beal's dog shit contract mixed in with the no trade clause is just horrible. Who's the funniest player in the league? Now, it depends on what your definition of funniest is. LeBron's got an argument, right? Luka definitely has an argument. KD, Dylan Brooks has an argument. Draymond has an argument. I think it's LeBron. Yeah, it's LeBron. Plus, we got to get Bron on here. But who is like the funniest, like intentionally funny guy? Anthony Edwards for sure. Definitely has an argument. LeBron's is unintentionally funny, but it is just fantastic. Most annoying. Most annoying. Brunson's pretty funny, yeah. Embiid, definitely. Embiid has an argument. Grant Williams is not the most annoying player in the league. I'm sorry. Celtics logo. Draymond. Josh Hart's funny, yeah. Tatum's not annoying. Tatum just does nothing. Let's go with Embiid. It has to be Embiid for me. It has to be Embiid. It has to be Embiid. I just, it makes me so angry watching him. And the part of what makes it even angrier for me, the foul baiting, the flopping is all one thing, but it's just like, fuck, man, when he's on, he's so good, and it is really fun to watch. Like when he's just dominating a game, it's just unbelievable. But then it's just like the flops will just be like, oh God. It's like, Jesus. Yeah, and then I'm sorry, how has he skated past some of these playoff disasters? He has skated past them. I will not forget the Hawks series, man. Yes, Ben Simmons stunk. Guess what? Embiid fucking sucked in that series. Okay? Embiid averaged like 8 turnovers a game the last 3 games of the series. Most potential? Now, probably piss you guys off, but this is very easily Victor Wembanyama. Like, I don't think this is really close currently. Now, interestingly, Hoop Collective did a podcast yesterday or a couple days ago, and they did a franchise draft. Like if for some reason there was a franchise draft and you had to pick one player to build a franchise around, Wemby went first. But they were, I was a little bit surprised. I kind of thought that we would get some bullshit Anthony Edwards thing. But no, they went with Luka comfortably second. And then they made an argument for Luka to actually be first. So much so that, you know what, I will throw Luka. I'll put a little mini Luka in here. Just because you got to remember him. Like, yes, Wemby does have the most potential, but Luka's made 5 All-NBA first teams in 6 years in the league. Most wasted potential. Ben Simmons is a good one. No, the Luka's argument is, hey, I came into the league, was really good my rookie year, and second year in the league, I made All-NBA first team, and I've made it every single year since. And I just made the NBA Finals. Okay, Lynn Bias. We're talking about current NBA players. Yeah, I mean, this is comfortably Ben Simmons. I mean, I think Zion has a good argument here, but it feels gross putting Zion because of the injury stuff. However, Zion was like, at the time, probably the most hyped prospect since LeBron. Every single one of his Duke games was on TV. Anytime he did anything at Duke, it was talked about forever. We'll do Ben. It's easily Ben Simmons. And then yes, I agree. We'll do a little mini Zion. I'll do a mini Zion because they're still like he's good when he plays. He's good. When he plays, he's good, right? And he does look good. There's pictures of him being skinny. Now we do this every single year with him. Ben Simmons is like, and it's crazy, man. I was doing I forgot what the fuck I was looking at. Oh, I was looking at this thing that was like comparing the top 100 lists over like the last 5-6 years in the movement. And man, there was like a 4-year stretch where in every top 100 list, Ben Simmons was like top 30. Man. But didn't Simmons at least reach part of his potential? I mean, dude, no. Ben Simmons was like, do you not remember that infamous Colin Cowherd clip? The infamous Colin Cowherd clip. Hey, LeBron, we're good. Hey, LeBron, we're good. Like Ben Simmons was the next LeBron James. A little small Zion, just to know that it's. Best passer. I mean, I don't give a shit. Okay, I don't care. What am I? I mean, what do you want me to say? Now I'll put Jokic here. Let's. Oh, I'm gonna put him in a Jokic. Yes. Well, I'm also putting Jokic, best in the post because he does belong there. Best perimeter defender. Drew, Caruso, Herb Jones all come to mind. Not Kawhi anymore. Not Kawhi any longer. I want to say Drew. Herb Jones is. I mean, there's a lot of great ones. Jaden McDaniels is an option. I can't get past Luka just torching him. It's not fair to him. He's just. Here's the thing: is Drew Holiday's like, what makes Drew Holiday better than like a Jaden McDaniels in my mind? You can't really bully him either. Like he's strong, he's sturdy. Jaden McDaniels can get bullied a little bit. Like Luka bullied the fuck out of Jaden McDaniels. Just big bodied him. Too big. And I'm not saying height wise. He was too big. He was too strong. This is Drew, and I'm leaving Drew in here by himself. I actually think he's. Caruso definitely deserves a shout. Herb Jones, Jaden McDaniels, Derek White. It's true. Smart, strong. So rim defender, I am thinking Wemby, but you have Anthony Davis, you have Gobert, obviously. You haven't like Embiid. Embiid deserves some. If we're just talking purely rim protection, Embiid deserves a shout. Bam is a good rim protector. What makes Bam so good is his versatility as a center. Right? Wimby and small AD. No, Bam's not in like a purely rim defender conversation. I'm actually going to give Rudy Gobert the nod here right now. I think Wimby's instincts have to get a little bit better currently. And again, what makes Wimby so promising as a defender is more than just rim protection. I'm going to put Gobert here, but I'm going to throw a mini Victor Wembanyama as well as a mini Anthony Davis onto that. Oh, no. Boom. Little mini Victor Wembanyama. Let's get a little mini Anthony Davis. And then I want to throw a tiny mini Embiid. Okay. No Embiid. A mini Anthony Davis. Actually, I'll throw a little mini Embiid. Just rim protection. Embiid can be lazy on defense. He can be food on the perimeter, but he is still a great rim protector. Oh. Most athletic. It's the Thompson twins, right? I mean, pretty easily. Most athletic could low-key go to Derrick Jones Jr. I think it's the Thompson twins comfortably. It's not Derrick Jones Jr., man. I don't think it's Ant. I'm going with the Thompson twins. The Thompson twins, like, once... I know, Derrick Jones Jr. is insane Mavs bias. God, I actually am rooting for them pretty heavily because they are absurdly fun to watch. They'll do like 2 or 3 things a game where you're like, wait, what the fuck? Just athletically. Does athletic mean jump high? Youth bias, Zoomer slightly back at it again. So I'm not Unk? No, it doesn't mean jump high. And I mean, I don't know if you're saying the Thompson twins are just jump high. The Thompson twins are obscene athletes. I mean, they're absurd athletes. John Morant's also an absurd athlete too. I mean, I definitely see an argument for Ja. Best handles. All right, let's go over here. Copy. Paste. Best shooter, Steph Curry. No, I honest to God, Kyrie's, I think, in a class of his own with the handles. And I don't think anyone else deserves to be in there. Nas Reed versus the Mavericks? No, seriously. Same thing with Steph. Best shooter comfortably. That's why I also think Jokic best post player comfortably. I mean, maybe some arguments for like Embiid. But Jokic is just so good out of the post. No, Curry's got good handles, but best role player. So see, I'm taking Drew out of this. Drew's an all-star to me. Like, Drew made an all-star game. I know that's not his role currently, but who would be second best in handles? I think Luka would have an argument. Derek White. Should we just do Derek White? Honest to God, you want to know what I'm gonna do? Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. There you go. Do with that information what you will. This feels good. Most underrated for me is Cade Cunningham. This will just be personal opinion stuff, like most underrated and overrated. Most overrated, Sabonis. And here's why, folks. This motherfucker got a Defensive Player of the Year vote. And not just City. I'm pretty sure it was first place, wasn't it? I was laughing my ass off looking at Derrick Rose's basketball reference page like a week ago. And the funniest shit, he got a first place MVP vote. Okay, my bad. Sabonis did not get a first place vote. So Derrick Rose's page obviously won the MVP, the youngest MVP ever, 22 years old, injured, boom, career basically over after that point, or at least the Derrick Rose that we thought we were about to get. Actually, you know what? Should a small Derrick Rose, who's currently still in the league, correct? Is Derrick Rose on a team right now? Most wasted potential could be sneaking a Derrick Rose right here. He's still technically in the league. MVP. Derrick Rose got an MVP vote as recently as 2021. So I was looking at this. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, great year. Finished third in Sixth Man of the Year voting. Really kind of a resurgence. Was that the year he dropped 50? No, he did that with Minnesota. So I was like, okay, that was cool. Like, how the hell did this happen? So I click on it. I go look at it. Not only did he get a vote, he got a first place vote. So then I'm like, what the fuck? How did Derrick Rose get a first place MVP vote? And does that person still have a vote? They had a fan vote. They did like a fan poll and a vote, and Derrick Rose won the thing, and they pulled the plug on that shit. That was the last they did of that. They let fans vote on one, voted for Derrick Rose, and they pulled the plug. Oh man! Shout out to Derrick Rose. Best Luka. Hey, debate a wall. Debate a wall. But okay, fine. I'll put a small Jokic so I don't get screamed at. I'll also throw a small Giannis. I think those are the three best players in the league. I won't hear an argument for anyone else. I think that's like a clear top three for me. I don't think that anybody else is. And also, it's good to get Giannis on here because he deserves to be on here in some capacity. No, I don't think Shea is there. I do not think Shea is as good as these three. Worst value contract in the league, I think, is Bradley Beal. That no trade clause is just atrocious. But who are some other ones? Ben Simmons is on an expiring contract now, so it's not nearly as bad. Although he would, of course, have been the easiest choice here for a while. Levine. Yeah, Levine definitely deserves a shout out for this, I guess. We'll throw Zach Levine on there. That breaks my heart. Tim Hardaway Jr. is on an expiring contract. No, not Dame. I'll tell you what. Paul George could sneak up on this. I know. Levine doesn't belong on here, though. Funniest is LeBron. Most annoying Embiid. Most potential Wemby. With Luka. Deserving a shout just because Luka's still 24 years old. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. 25. How the fuck? Did Derek Lively get most potential? Most wasted potential, Ben Simmons. Pretty easily. No. Lively on the... Got the most potential for Mavs fans on this. I don't... I think they're thinking most untapped. Yeah, I think so. Well, I was just looking at it as who entered the Dallas Mavericks organization with the most potential. Answer, easily Luka Doncic. Best passer? I think it's Luka. I think he's the best passer in the league. I'm working on something where I'm watching every Luka assist of the season. His passing bag is just absurd, man. You watch guys like Domantas Sabonis. You see how many of his assists are just handoffs or basic reads or whatever the case may be. You know, nothing wrong with that, but you see how like his 8-9 assists a game stack up versus a Luka 9 assists a game where he's throwing live dribble skip passes with his offhand, where he's chunking, 60-foot touchdown passes. The lookaways, the no looks, and I'm not talking to Tyrese Halliburton. I'm staring at you. I'm passing the ball. Now I'm looking away. I'm talking. I am manipulating the defense by looking at you, and I know you're over here. I might not even see you, but I know you're in the corner. The defense is I'm passing it to the corner. Yeah, live dribble passing is a very slept-on skill trait. Dribble handoff versus atomic bomb. Yeah, basically. And Jokic has an incredible passing bag as well. And so does, Harden. Although Harden's sort of decline as a scorer, I think, has taken away from him as a playmaker a tiny bit. Halliburton has a good passing bag, but it's not to the level of these two. LeBron, obviously. I don't know if I already said LeBron, but it's kind of a similar thing with Harden. Best perimeter defender has to be Drew Holiday. Best rim defender is still Gobert, but AD, Wemby, Embiid. Thompson twins get most athletic for me. Best handles Kai. Best shooter Steph, with Luka being second, but Steph's pretty comfortably ahead. You have a 105 fever? Damn. That doesn't sound healthy. Best in post, Jokic. Best role player, the entire Boston Celtics team. Do with that information what you will. Bones Highland over Steph for handles. Russello says Luka's no-look passes are choreographed from drawn up plays, saying he's just looking away to look cool virtually. Has he actually said that? You should do a most aura one. No thanks. No, thank you. Who would win that, though? NBA version, debate a wall. What's the best value contract which isn't a superstar or star? That's a good question. I don't know. Denny Avdia. I mean, Wemby on a rookie deal. Tyus Jones at a minimum is pretty crazy. Okay. Let's close the stream out here with this. Let's close out the stream looking at this article. Now, I've seen some tweets about this. I've seen some of it. I haven't seen all of it. NBA predictions 24-25 are expert picks for MVP in every major award this season. Now, this is kind of August 21st. Like, this feels early. We're 2 months away from the NBA season tipping off officially. This feels something that you would do closer to the season, but we're doing it right now. We're doing it right now. If KD goes to mini for Ant, do we get Booker on the Mavs? Dude, that'd be sick. If there's like a Devin Booker to the Mavs. Like, a portion of his career, that would honestly be sick. I would love that. I'd be so here for that. Let's get right into it, shall we? I'm a little bit nervous. Why am I nervous about this? Which superstars will claim the NBA's biggest awards in 2024, 2025? We asked our summer forecast panel, a group of NBA experts, including reporters, editors, and analysts, to rank its top 3 choices for the NBA's 6 major awards. I wonder how many of these people actually get votes. Who will win MVP? Luka, number 1. Wow, Luka comfortably number 1, huh? %48 of first place votes. Jokic only at 10%. Shea with 24%. So I've been saying this. This feels like the year for Luka. Everything's kind of pointed towards him. It's in his favor. I think that there will be the retroactive sort of, damn, Luka might have deserved it last year. Like the counting stats were just absurd. It's funny. I heard on Hoop Collective they were talking about it, but there were times over the season where the same Hoop Collective guys would be like, yeah, but he doesn't do this. Yeah, but. And then they looked at it like, did you know Luka had pretty much averaged a 34-point triple-double last year? Yeah, motherfucker, we knew that. We were telling you. We were on our hands and knees begging you. Begging you to understand. Luka has been the betting favorite to win MVP entering the year like 4 years in a row. But they just always look for a reason to move off of him. But everything's in line. He came off an incredible season last year. Third in MVP voting. I think there's going to be like Luka probably deserved it last year, so let's kind of move his way. NBA Finals last year. I think that if the Mavericks win enough games, which I'm assuming they will, I think it's Luka's time. Jokic second. Just struggle to think they're giving Jokic his 4th in 5 years. But something in Jokic's favor, the KCP departure has a lot of people talking pretty crazy about the Nuggets, myself included. So if the Nuggets are really good and Jokic has a great year, he's going to have that going for him. Shea third, definitely possible if the Thunder are like a 60-plus win team. Ant fourth, really struggle to see it. Really struggle to see that. Giannis fifth, like Ant having more votes than Giannis. I don't know. I don't know about that. Embiid, Tatum. Could see Tatum averaging 30 points again and the Celtics winning 60 plus games, and everyone's like, see? AD, okay. Ja, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, huh? All right. Rookie of the year, kind of a weird draft class. Reed Shepherd, 62% of first place votes. I disagree with this. See, in my brain, I just can't. Obviously, Reed Shepherd looked the most impressive in Summer League. He was like, oh shit. He looks really good. Reed Shepherd does. I just think the Rockets have so many young guys that, yeah, I don't know if he's going to get the opportunity necessarily. See, I would personally pick Zach Edey because I think he'll get the opportunity. I think he'll put up numbers. I think the Grizzlies will be pretty good. Like, for me, he's who I would bet on. Klingon could. Yeah, I could see Klingon. Stephon Castle. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to put up the offensive numbers, though, that you need to win Rookie of the Year. Rob Dillingham, I don't see that. Alex Sarr. It's definitely, it's definitely possible. Reese Shea, look at that. The number one overall pick is comfortably 6th. Slightly, where'd you get drafted again? Third overall. Just decided not to come out, and they knew it. They knew I didn't want to play professionally, but they still I was so highly touted as a prospect. They drafted me 3rd anyways. Similar to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray got drafted by the Oakland Athletics in the 1st round when they knew damn well he wasn't going to play in the NBA or the NFL or the MLB. Well, I got there eventually. But if Rob Dillingham is in a position where he's getting enough action and play to win this award, I don't think that's good for the Timberwolves. Unless he's incredible. My pick would be Edey. I definitely see Reed, though. I just don't know if he's going to get enough opportunity. That's all. Who will win Defensive Player of the Year? I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way in fuck it's Rudy Gobert. There is simply no possible way that Rudy Gobert snags his 5th Defensive Player of the Year. Where would that even put him? What conversations does he enter? What conversations does he enter if he wins a 5th? He would have the most ever. He would have the most all time, the most Defensive Player of the Year awards in history. If he were to win another one. Now, granted, they didn't start the award till 82-83. So, I would say there's no way in hell Rudy Gobert. Wemby, yeah, it's probably going to be Wemby. Now, I do want to say, where's Bam? Bam's 3rd. I could see it. I could see if maybe the Spurs aren't as good as people thought, and it's do we really want to give Wemby, the Spurs kind of suck. If the Heat are good, and it's all right, Wemby's going to win these for the next, 7-8 years. Let's get Bam in here. Bam has kind of deserved one for a while. Let's get Bam, we gave Marcus fucking Smart one. Let's get Bam one. There's just no way Gobert's finishing first. None at all. Anthony Davis. Mikal Bridges? Really? Doubt it. I was genuinely about to say, who's getting the most difficult defensive assignment on that team? Is it even Mikal? Drew. Embiid. Draymond. OG. Giannis. Caruso, Jaren Jackson Jr., Mobley. Kind of low for Mobley. Herb Jones, Jaylen Brown, Chet. Okay. I mean, I would say my pick is Victor Wembanyama pretty easily. Finished second last year. Dark horse, Najee the Knife. Yeah, Najee Marshall's a dark horse. Very low for Jaren Jackson Jr., who literally just won Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think Jaren Jackson Jr. will be a better defender than Wemby? Where's D-Live? D-Live's not going to be on here. Sixth man of the year. Who just won? Oh, Naz Reid, duh. Malik Monk, number 1. Okay. Alex Caruso. Wow. Honestly, didn't even think about Caruso winning Sixth Man of the Year. Could see it. Naz Reid, reigning Sixth Man of the Year. Jaime Jaquez, TJ McConnell, Bobby Potus, Russell Westbrook on the Nuggets. That's going to feel weird. Bogey should be a little bit higher. Didn't I pick Bogey for my Sixth Man of the Year? I don't remember who I picked. Jose Alvarado got a first place vote. Norman Powell with the first place vote. Josh Hart with the first place vote. Austin Reeves, Boyan, and CJ McCollum. Grimes. There's no... You really think ESPN experts are going to have Quentin Grimes on here? I don't know who I would pick. This award's always hard. I would say Malik Monk. But Bogey to me is probably like my favorite player on this list. Not saying he's the best, but probably my favorite. And I could see him winning it. If the Hawks are maybe a little bit better. But he might start too many games, though. We'll see. Who will win most improved? This is the one I saw. This makes no fucking sense. How is Wembanyama number 1? How on earth is Victor Wembanyama picked number 1 here to win most improved? This award is just stupid. This award is just dumb as shit. This is genuinely such a stupid award. J-Dub doesn't even deserve to be on here either. J-Dub was like a very sneaky, hey, I'm putting J-Dub on my third team All-NBA. And people would be like, okay, hey, you know some ball. John Morant winning it was like the nail in the coffin for this stupid shit award. But Victor Wembanyama, maybe the most hyped draft prospect ever. At the very least, the second most hyped draft prospect in the last 20 to 30 years since LeBron. Easy Rookie of the Year in a stacked rookie class. Second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. In what world would Victor Wembanyama be deserving of most improved? Unless he turns into a top 2 player in the sport. If Victor Wembanyama's like, holy shit, he might be... If it's March and we're like, holy fuck, Victor Wembanyama might be the best player in the NBA. Like, he might have just reached it. Maybe. But that's it. Even if Victor Wembanyama turns into the 5th best player, which I think is very much in the range of outcomes for him next year, that he turns into like a fringe top 5 guy, I don't even think that's deserving of him being most improved, because that's what we expect. Jalen will... Like, J-Dub? Like, what? J-Dub was awesome last year. Kobe White again? Like, what are we expecting out of Kobe White? Like, Kobe White should have won it last year. Absolutely, Kobe White should have won the award last year. He finished second. It should have been his. He is the embodiment of what that award should be. Tyrese, like, we already knew Tyrese Maxey was good, man. We already knew it. We already knew Tyrese Maxey was really good. Like, James Harden left and he got a higher usage rate. It should have been Kobe White. He perfectly embodied this award. Cade Cunningham. First overall pick. Cam Thomas, we're doing the Cam Thomas shit again. Devin Vassell, I kind of like it. Sneaky. Şengün, really? What are we expecting out of Şengün? Halliburton? What? What are we expecting out of Tyrese Halliburton next year that he can win most improved? He just made an All-NBA team. It was on Team USA. Jonathan Kuminga, okay, I could see a world. Jalen Suggs should have. Did Jalen Suggs get votes in this award last year at the very least? Last year would have been his most improved year. He did. He finished 8th. Why are there no Mavericks in this article? I mean, where do you expect the Maverick to be, honestly? Luka was number 1 for MVP. Like, who? What else do you? There's no Mavericks in most improved talks, at least in my opinion. RJ Barrett's an interesting one. RJ Barrett's an interesting one. I could see it. Jalen Johnson. Some people think Jalen Johnson. I think Zach Lowe said if he qualified last year, he would have voted for him. Jalen Green, if he like fully breaks out. Jabari Smith Jr. is an interesting one. Christian Brown. Okay. So I'm wondering this. You don't think Lively could become a top 2 rim protector while developing a 3-ball and get on most improved? I'm just against second-year players being in most improved talks, period. I hate it. I think it's stupid as fuck. And to be fair, Victor Wembanyama is the only second-year guy on here. Why was Ja the end of the most improved player award for you? Ingram was second overall pick and won it. Because Ingram had like an actual career development path where it was like, what is Brandon Ingram? Are we sure we know what Brandon Ingram is? For 3 years. And then, boom, gets traded to the Pelicans, 24 points, makes the All-Star team. Just looks like a completely, totally different player. John Morant, like, was amazing immediately. I just don't like second-year players being on here, especially like lottery pick ones, because it's like that's like growth that's kind of expected, unless there's like a massive jump. Honestly, the one player on the Mavs who would have actual most improved potential, I would say, is PJ, but he's just been in the league for so long now that I just doubt it. So I have to ask the question. My personal pick for most improved player, he has everything going for him that a most improved player would have. There's a lot of parallels even between him and a player who won most improved a couple years ago. Talking about Josh Giddey. Like no Josh Giddey shout out at all. I see the parallels between Josh Giddey. When it comes to most improved player, I see the parallels between Josh Giddey and Lauri Markkanen. They're white, right? But beyond that, going to a new team that there's a little bit less responsibility just in terms of like, we need to be winning basketball games. So you're going to have the ball in your hands a little bit more. You're going to be given a pathway to just do things on the basketball court. I mean, Josh Giddey could easily win this award. Easily. If he's given the reins. Yeah, but if Giddey gets to like 19 points a game and he's like 8 rebounds, 7 assists, pretty efficient, I could see him winning this shit. It would be similar to Markkanen. Like, Markkanen was always a good player. We saw glimpses of it here and there. Was just kind of weird fitting. Went to the Cavs. Remember that? Was the Cavs 3? It was like kind of strange, kind of interesting, but a little strange. And then goes to Utah, and they're like, hey, we're not trying to be good necessarily, so Markkanen, do whatever the fuck you want. And then he exploded. And another parallel between the two of them. Going into that year with the Jazz, I remember talking about this. Markkanen went crazy in Eurobasket. Went nuts with Finland. Josh Giddey was really damn good with Australia this past summer. Pretty damn good. What about Paolo? Paolo was just on the All-Star team. Paolo was just on the Team USA World Cup roster last summer. Like, I don't know. For Paolo to get there, he'd have to become like an MVP candidate, which I guess is possible. What else is here? Coach of the Year, Tom Thibodeau. Dagnall, Joe Mazzulla, Greg Popovich, Kenny Atkinson, Nick Nurse. I mean, I don't care about this, really. Jason Kidd getting votes. Yay. Good they didn't even medal. No, Australia didn't medal because they're a mess of a roster, but Josh Giddey was good. Franz, if Franz is like mid-30s to upper 30s from 3 this year miraculously and is like an all-star, maybe. NBA predictions 24-20. Why are they doing all their prediction shit now? Biggest turnarounds, turbulent teams, and the biggest questions. Which team will make a major leap? The Grizzlies, yeah. Spurs, Warriors, Suns. I'm actually kind of warming up on the Suns quite a bit. I have to be honest with you. Bucks, Sixers, Rockets, Magic, Kings, Nets. I mean, we're listing every team. Charlotte Hornets. Hey, there they are. There they are. Miami Heat, New Orleans Pelicans. Portland Trailblazers, huh? Interesting. Well, the Grizzlies are an obvious choice. Which team will take a tumble this season? Here we go. I knew they'd be here. The Lakers, yeah. Yeah. I mean, how are the Clippers not number 1, though? The Clippers will be ass. Like, I'm trying to imagine a scenario where the Clippers are good. Hawks, again? Like a tumble from last year? The Bulls, a tumble from last year? The Nuggets, the Bucks? Wow, the Bucks tumble even more? The Heat, could see it. Warriors, could see it. Suns. Mavericks, we're definitely going to be on this. Nets, Sixers, Rockets, Knicks. The Knicks, huh? The Wizards. Is there any explanation on the Knicks? Which player will get his first All-Star nod? Yeah, Wemby, 90% of the first place votes. Yeah. Yep. Chet, Mikal, Jamal Murray, really? Cade Cunningham? Somebody sees what I see. Evan Mobley. Buddy Hield. Who's doing that? Who is that? Who voted that? Jaime Jaquez? Alp. Wemby, obviously. Honestly, if it's only Wemby, that wouldn't surprise me. I could see Chet, though. Like, if the Thunder are that good. No, if we're assuming the Thunder are going to be really good, you have Chet here. No J-Dub. No J-Dub shout. Interesting. Buddy Hield, but no J-Dub. Jaime Jaquez, but no J-Dub. Which star will make the biggest impact on his new team? All right, you have Paul George, Mikal Bridges, Caruso, DeMar, Chris Paul. Chris Paul should actually kind of be higher on this list. I'm going to be honest with you. Klay Thompson. The next superstar to request a trade will be, and Brandon Ingram's a picture here. So they're very loose with the superstar term. Brandon Ingram, Zach LaVine. Again, very loose with the superstar term. Trae Young, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, Darius Garland. Yeah, the who will fall off? It's just going to be any team that was good last year. Can't wait for the Slightly/Nick episode predicting each of the 82 games. Oh, God. I think that's what Bleacher Report wanted me to do, but it's like, there's no way in hell I'm doing that. No way in hell. Exclusive. Chick-fil-A is moving aggressively into the entertainment space with plans to launch a slate of originals for its own streaming platform. Just put the fries in the bag. Literally. All right, that's it for me, folks. Classic, genuinely. Had like 6 different articles open that I wanted to go over, and we spent an hour and a half doing this, which I had no plans of doing 30 minutes before the stream started. Friday, we'll figure something out. I saw an article title. I never read the article, but I saw an article title from Bleacher Report that I really actually liked the idea of, and it was going back and looking at the huge blockbuster trades over the last 5 years and regrading them. And we're going to do that on Friday. I'm going to have a PowerPoint. Friday will be a PowerPoint stream, and we're going to do that. That sounds fun to me. I'm going to do it on my own, and then I'll look at Bleacher Reports. Might do like free agent signings too. Might do the 5 biggest moves of the last 5 off seasons and regrading them. Yeah. If you missed anything from this stream, I will be posting clips on the Slightly Biased Clips channel. I honestly have no idea how those are doing. I post on that channel and then get out. I don't know anything else going on. We need a Fanspo stream. I'm gonna go to Fanspo real quick and just see what the fuck's going on over there. Real quick, let's see what's going on. Knicks get their big, and it's Daniel Gafford for Mitchell Robinson. Oh my God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for coming out. All of the OGs, you guys know I love you very much. Could have spent your Wednesday afternoon anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. Donations, members. Wait, new subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members, you guys never have to do that, but it helps you out tremendously. It makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I will talk to you all on Friday. I'm doing a couple episodes with Nick tonight, so I will be on Locked On Mavs in the coming days. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for that if that's something that you're interested in. Love you all. Talk to you all later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Bye from South Padre. Love South Padre. Bye.